Oh. We're in for back. Ultra flex Durham this time for midweek back. So no deadlifts today. We are going to do pretty much everything bar deadlifts. I think I'm going to do a barbell row today. I'm feeling good. I actually only did just hit legs last night and it was a brutal one. It was a big one. So I'm feeling good today, but I definitely have to bear that in mind as I cruise through warm-ups. So I'll see how I feel by my warm-ups on things like a barbell row. I'm not going to come and be like, right, I am absolutely going to barbell row that today, because I don't know how I'm going to feel by then. But cable pullovers to begin with, I think on something like this, whether it's standing, whether it's single arm, whether you're using a rope, whether you're using a bar, I think something like this at the start of back is very important. Some form of pullover movement that's going to allow you to be able to activate your lats, connect with them, feel them, make sure you're warm, create warmth, create support, create blood around that area. Because when you move into other movements, you can easily move into a single arm pull down and warm up enough to be able to open your lats up. But I definitely think actually getting into the muscle first is very important, which is why majority of my back sessions, if anything, all of them, I will always do a pullover to begin with. Just create so much more support and stability and better feel for every single movement that I go into. And like I say, it allows me to do something that I'm not going full send, silly heavy weights straight away. But no more rambling on. I don't know how much waffling will be done in this session, but we're in for midweek back regardless. If you can, drop the video a like. As always guys, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's get on with it. I used to be a faithful pull-up goer in every single session, every back session. I reckon I would kickstart most back sessions with weighted pull-ups. I got to like body weight plus around 25 or 30 kilograms for a good like 8 to 10 reps. And that was just, you know, after like consistently doing them for a while. I don't do them now, in all honesty. I maybe don't do them as much as what I would like, but it is definitely because there's just so many other things that is just as convenient as walking up to a pull-up station and doing a pull-up. Am I going to do more of them? Maybe, maybe not. However, they are definitely one of them movements now that I'll never rush into and just hit failure, come back off, hit failure, come back off. I would rather do, for example, a really good set of 10 reps and leave it there and know that I can do a really good set of maybe 10 reps again after that, and then maybe another one after that. Whereas I would rather stay away from now, going in, end up swinging about like a fucking monkey and doing like 4 reps that mean absolutely nothing, but are gonna take away from the next set that I jump back in, because the next set I jump back into, I could get 4 reps less. So I would rather hit a nice set, be conservative with them, and maybe leave a couple of pretty rough reps in the tank, and then from there jump into another one, make it a good set, jump into another one, make it a good set. You get the fucking picture. Gimleco T-bar rows next. I was actually contemplating between a single arm pull down and this. This was free. This is the majority of the time not free. Therefore, this is going to be first today. A single arm pull down, to be fair, is not always free, but there's a few of them in here. So you can always make that work. Whereas there's only 2 T-bars. I really want to do the Gimleco T-bar, so that's what we're going to do. Definitely. I knew that was going to be a warm-up. You know, I actually planned on that being my working set, and just before I went in to do it there, something just crossed my mind. I was like, I could probably do this as a warm-up. Guys, this is one thing I'm telling you, right? Straight up facts. Where this goes, this will follow. Fucking remember that. One of the most important things, and it's why you tend to see everybody fucking shy away from doing stuff that they think they can't do, because the second you think you can't do something, you'll never be able to fucking do it, and that's the bottom line. Ooh, that actually felt pretty light. An important topic that I could let you guys know about, and that is why I just changed the bar from the red Rogue power bar to a proper good old stiff bar. Reason behind that is just because the red bars have no center knurling, therefore from a perspective of whip and flex and bend, I don't really like them for something like a barbell row, which is why you'll never see me use a deadlift bar for anything else apart from a deadlift. So I would never squat with a deadlift bar. I would never barbell row with a deadlift bar. I would never even RDL with a deadlift bar. I would always do them with a stiff bar. Exact same as a barbell row, just so everything's even. You know, I'm not rowing up and I'm not trying to fight whip. And the exact same goes with something like an RDL. Maybe you could get away with it to a certain degree on something like an RDL if you were going to go as close to the floor as you possibly could. Same with an SLDL. But on something like a barbell row, I'm never going to choose a bar with no center knurling. I'm always going to choose a bar that's stiff as fuck, and I know it's just proper even, because we're not trying to get any benefits from a bar that's a bit more whippier. And at the end of the day, that is realistically something that's only going to put you off, which is why I would never use one. So we're going to use a stiff bar. I'm going to go in at 100, do a warm-up. Realistically speaking, from there, go 3 plates, and then kind of call it from there. Maybe 3.5 to 4 for a good working set today. Only because coming off of legs last night, I did actually do stiff legs off the floor. Took up to 190 for 11, which I'm definitely not like really sore from or anything like that. So it's not something that I'm going to absolutely let put me off doing barbell rows, hence why I'm doing them. However, I do just need to take them into consideration by the time I get up to that kind of 3.5, 4 plate marker, because realistically speaking, then my body's going to tell me, right, it's either on today or I need to choose a weight that's maybe not up in that bracket. Okay. Do you know something? That was a big telltale sign in the last set, because the second I unracked that, the plates just slid. Now that was either gonna make that set feel, well, it did make it feel worse than what it potentially should have felt, but it also gave me the clarification that there's more than 4 plates there. Now this is definitely something else as well that's very important, because when I get up to like that kind of 160 marker, a weight that I'm definitely familiar with, I'm comfortable with, I can go in and I kind of know it's going to be a warm-up, but it is definitely going to be that weight that's going to be the determining factor of where I'm going to go on the day for the working set. So for barbell rows, I don't really ever often come in with a number in mind. I kind of allow my feeling in the session itself to auto-regulate what I'm going to do for that working set. So like I say, I'm definitely familiar with 160, so that's really the telltale factor. Going from 160, it felt very easy, very nice. On a different day, it could feel different. So that could be the call of me doing the 160 and doing 180 for a working, or doing the 160 and knowing that 180 is also going to be a warm-up. So I went in with the 160, felt very fucking light. I was like, right, 180 is going to be a warm-up, 200 is definitely on today, which meant I had to go into 180 with the mindset that it was literally an empty bar, wasn't going to be a working set. I didn't really need to focus on anything apart from just getting the rep out of the way, priming my central nerve system and getting my body used to a bit of extra weight before the 200, because I would never just go 160 to 200 because that's just too big of a jump on something like a barbell row. Now, obviously the plate slid, made it a little bit harder, but I still done a rep with ease. So that gave me extra confidence and extra clarification that 200 is definitely there. Come on then. Yeah. Whew. Every time. That's Saturday for deadlifts. That's stiff legs last night. And the reason behind having to do stiff legs was because I cut that open trying to do an RDL. And then that's today, doing a fucking barbell row. And because I've let the bar come down just a little bit too much, I've pure ripped the skin right off it again, which fucking hurt. Probably more than the 200 kilograms on the bar.
And as easy as that from the barbell rows, I moved on to this prime attachment, which is just simply a handle where you can literally move it to either a pronated grip, neutral grip, a supinated grip. So I kind of went more so wider on this one and kept it to a more so in the middle between neutral and pronated. Felt very nice. I just took 3 working sets on here, so I looked between 10 and 15 reps on every single set. To be honest, I do rotate my attachments. I'm not married to just one every single session. Either what is already on the pull down machine itself, if I like it that is, or I'll simply just use one that I kind of feel I want to be able to use in the session itself. And then from there, finish the session off on the Gym Shop single arm pull down. Again, 2 more sets on here, just looking between 10 and 15 reps per arm for both sets. To be honest, not going crazy heavy on here. I took it up to 4 plates and 4.5 plates for my working sets, which felt absolutely perfect for me to be able to fall in between the 10 and 15 rep marker. And again, like I say, by this point of the session, I'm not overly focusing on having to do a crazy load for a crazy amount of reps. I'm going by feel, taking what's there, and that is it for this back session. So I hope you guys were able to enjoy it, take something from it. Any questions, drop them down below, and I will just catch up with you all in the next video.